Hello. I'm Elaine Almond. Um, I'm an abstract artist living in Kent in the UK. Um, I paint is my main discipline, painting, and I do abstracted landscapes and some pure abstractions. Um,
What does it feel like to be a finalist for the VAO24?
well, to tell you the truth, I was completely gobsmacked. It was amazing, really, just to think that you know putting in paint work that I do every day could get to that stage. So I was really pleased, and everyone around me kept saying really nice things about it. But actually, I quite enjoyed coming up and meeting people, and the meal was lovely. So.
Do you think it's important for artists to apply to art prizes?
Well, I think for me, the main thing has usually been it's an encouragement to see what you can do because you don't know. I mean, the first time I ever submitted to something was in 2017, and I got shortlisted in a national competition. And again, I was completely amazed. Um, so you don't know what you can do, and you don't know where it sits. So I think it can just be a stimulus to you, um, to think, well, I've got something to work towards, or I can see what I can do. And then you meet other people, and your horizons are broadened because when you work on your own a lot, it's very easy to get yeah, hemmed in, a bit short-sighted, and you forget what's going on in the big wide world, really. Um, so I just think it's stimulating, and you have to work it out because it does there is a cost, and if you do too many, you could be spending every penny you make on uh, on art prizes, but on competitions or something. So I don't do that, but to pick and choose is, I think it's useful.
Next question is, can you share the inspiration behind your art piece?
Well, for 10 years, my husband and I um, spent a lot of time down at Rye Harbour Nature Reserve, and I've walked round there week in, week out, really. Um, and that was started during lockdown when you couldn't go. And the one place I really wanted to go um, was Rye Harbour Nature Reserve, and we couldn't get there. So I started painting it. I've done there are several paintings around of the reserve, but done from memory, and a bit of imagination. And this was the biggest one. And it started life when we did eventually get down there. It was a February, and we walked round, and it was a bit of a howling gale, really. And I came back and painted this really windy painting with huge brush strokes sweeping across it and all the rest. Um, and I did exhibit it, but something about it always niggled at me. So I went back in and started reworking it, just thinking about what it was like at the end of the day. And you can see for miles down to Winchelsea where the sun sets. And so I just put in my take on that. But it's based in walking around.
Perfect. So, next question is, if you could share one key takeaway about your art journey, what would it be?
Oh, I put quite a few down. I don't know. The most important, I think, is probably to know that it's hard in patches, and that you need to find ways to enjoy the journey, whatever's going on, um, and just to keep going. Um, because if you stop, and nothing will happen, and it won't get better. You just have to work through whatever it is, whatever sticky patch you're in. You just have to work your way through it. And it may be sticky in life, it may be sticky in your art. Who knows? We have ups and downs all the time. But the thing is just to keep going and seeing where you can go and what you can do. Because until you try, you don't know really.
Thank you. That was very inspirational. Any advice for emerging artists?
I suppose I still think am I emerging? I don't know. It's a funny word, really. I mean, we're all on a journey to somewhere. And some people use the term very disparagingly, and others think it's a great term. So I think my message would be to keep going, but also what I've found useful is to get some support for yourself, whatever you want to call it, whether it's business help or mentoring or a bit of both or whatever, because there's a whole lot involved that when you start painting, you have no idea.
Perfect. So, what is next for you?
Well, I really need a gallery that will reliably take some work. I have some things going on at home that mean that actually having someone else doing some of the sales side would be really useful. And I have plenty of work. So for me, that's crucial, really. I'm thinking about next year now, obviously. But that's what I'm working on. I've been told, cultivate a relationship with the gallery. So I don't know if the one that I'm working on knows it yet, so I'm not going to mention anything. but that's what I'm beginning to work on, really.
That's perfect. So, final sort of thing. Any other thoughts or anything you want to say?
Probably I appreciate help wherever it comes. So I've enjoyed some of the seminars on Zoom, and it was nice meeting you and Karen at the exhibition. And so let's see where 2025 goes.